Video games can evoke a number of different emotions in people. The study focuses on the experience of thrill brought by violent video games. Thrill is known as a sudden feeling of excitement and pleasure. Thrill has been known to lead to positive effects, such as releasing mood-boosting chemicals, like dopamine and adrenaline. However, it has also been found to be linked to fear and panic. Moreover, in violent video games, it has been found to lead to aggression and emotional disturbances. Due to this, the study sought to answer the question, what depicts the nature of thrill brought by violent video games as experienced by Filipino gamers? The study aims to depict the nature of thrill brought by violent video games for creation of a behavioral assessment assessing the different degrees of thrill. The study is a qualitative research in the form of a phenomenological study as it focuses on characterizing the experience of thrill as a phenomenon.
The people who participated in this study are Filipino gamers ages 13 to 25 who play an average of 2 hours a day or 6 hours a week in playing violent video games. Now, you may ask, what counts as a violent video game? Well, we use the ESRB rating guide for that. The ESRB rating guide classifies a lot of different types of in-game violence, but in this research we used violence that is not cartoon violence or fantasy violence as criteria for our co-researchers. Also, for ethical purposes and for the protection of these participants, we agreed not to disclose their information, and this information will forever remain confidential. After conducting 13 interviews and 7 reflections, we transcribed those experiences and dialogues. Those transcripts serves as our raw data. But of course, we have to validate these raw data. We used the transpersonal approach for that. Through the transpersonal approach, we were able to validate statements from co-researchers as we researchers fit the criteria for co-researchers. Now, what do we want to get from these transcripts? We wanted to get statements that answers the study's main problem. We call that the hand-picking process as winnowing. After winnowing, we gave each statement a code. And in those codes, we clustered them in such a way that in the end, we can create a diagram that answers the study's problem whilst also representing our analyzed data.
As previously said, a transpersonal approach was utilized in the study. However, the main instrument used in collecting data was interviews with co-researchers. Co-researchers were purposefully sampled to find deep insight to the experience of thrill. During the interview, after the co-researcher gives enough information to fit the selection process, the researchers ask one or more of the following questions. 1. How would you describe the experience of thrill while playing violent video games? 2. What would you describe as the experience of thrill as while playing violent video games? 3. What do you think causes the feeling of thrill while playing violent video games? Afterwards, videotaped and audio transcriptions with permissions were transcribed into text, then winnowed and clustered as described by the previous researcher. After analyzing and processing the results, a behavioral assessment will be verified and assessed by a licensed psychometrician who will be guided by the study's findings.
Using a phenomenological design, the study explored the experience of thrill brought by violent video games experienced by Filipino gamers. A total of 20 gamers participated in the study. 65% of the participants were male, while 35% were female, and their ages ranged from 15 to 18 years old. The average number of hours that the co-researchers spent playing video games is 32.54 hours per week.
Through careful analysis of the transcripts of the co-researchers, we have come up with the ARG-OWO thrill. The ARG-OWO thrill consists of 6 types, namely assist, rage, grind, OSHI, WASD, and OPATH. The dimensions in our resulting typology are the following. Type, which refers to the type of thrill experienced by the gamer. Factor, which is the source of the thrill. Perspective, which is how the gamer sees thrill. And control, which is the force that manipulates how the gamer experiences the thrill. The assist thrill is the thrill of brotherhood. It is described as a sense of cooperation. Thrill is derived from acts that involve camaraderie or teamwork, like protecting your teammate as stated by R5. This thrill is controlled by the players of the game, and this thrill is supported by a 2007 study by Poet et al. The rage thrill is the thrill of expression. It is described as a sense of release. This thrill is derived from expressing feelings or emotion through gameplay, like using games as a means of stress relief as stated by CR6. This thrill is controlled by the player of the game. This thrill is also supported by a 2008 study by Schumann and Schultheis. The grind thrill is the thrill of output. It is described as a sense of accomplishment. This thrill is derived from producing a desirable output, like being able to reach a milestone in a game as stated by CR11. This thrill is controlled by the game. And this thrill is also supported by a 2010 study by McGonigal. The Oshie thrill is the thrill of the unknown. It is described as the sense of unpredictability. This thrill is derived from uncertain situations like doing a risky attack that might put you in jeopardy, as stated by CR11. This thrill is controlled by the players of the game, and this thrill is supported by a 2008 study by Berg. The WASD thrill is the thrill of discovery. It is described as a sense of learning. This thrill is derived from unveiling previously unknown information, like revealing a plot point in a story, as stated by CR8. This thrill is controlled by the players of the game. The OBAF thrill is the thrill of superiority. It is described as a sense of empowerment. This thrill is derived from surpassing other players, like getting revenge on an opponent, as stated by R1. This thrill is controlled by the players of the game. This thrill is also supported by a 2008 study by Schumann and Schultheis.
In conclusion, the qualitative research, using a phenomenological design and the transpersonal method of analysis, yielded the ARG-OA thrill typology, whose types depict the nature of thrill brought by violent video games as experienced by Filipino gamers. The OBAF thrill, or overpowering above foes, is best described as a sense of superiority amongst other players. The grind thrill, or gratifying rewards inducing new drive, is experienced after producing an output in-game, like earning a reward or achieving something. The WASD thrill, or wandering across sudden discoveries, is a thrill experienced after learning something new that can be beneficial to the player. The assist thrill, or assistive social support initiating synergistic teamwork, is based on camaraderie and the brotherhood formed and felt while playing video games. Rage thrill, or releasing and gesticulating expression, is thrill that is reliant on the immersion of the player, and it is achieved through self-expression in-game. Lastly, the Oshie thrill, or obscurities and happenstances happening improbably, is a thrill that is based on the unknown aspects within violent video games. The results of this research will be helpful in the creation of a behavioral assessment that can determine the type and degree of thrill felt by gamers who play violent video games. Determining this early on can be considered a countermeasure against the negative effects of excessive and prolonged thrill, such as addiction. The researchers would like to sincerely thank the teachers of Manila Science High School, especially Dr. Nea Fidel Ramirez and Dr. Rhea Eden, for their guidance during the creation of this research. The researchers would also like to thank their friends and parents who supported us so that we would be able to continue and finish this research. We would also like to thank our co-researchers for their participation and support.